Hi guys, my name is Angelie. Welcome to my channel. I am an esthetician and makeup artist, and today I'm going to be sitting down and showing you how I made this look. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome, and if you have been here before, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for coming back. I appreciate it. So let's just get started. Okay guys, what do we think about this setup? I feel like this setup is a lot better. It's more aesthetically pleasing. I think this might be my new filming spot. Don't be surprised if the next like 5 videos are me filming at different locations in my room. Okay, so let's get started. So first things first, I'm gonna put on my SPF. I already put on my moisturizer, so we're good to go. I always start my looks off with sunscreen and moisturizer and skincare because your makeup's not gonna look good if your skin doesn't. And right now my skin is breaking out right in here a little bit because I had some dairy. Because you know, it's almost Christmas time, so we got them Christmas cookies, we got all the desserts, all the chocolate, so my skin is a little bit mad at me right now. I'm gonna put on my cute little headband. I actually got this from a cute boutique in the Hartville Marketplace in Hartville, Ohio. It's called the French Rooster. I absolutely love it, and I love the owners. I love the company, so you guys should check them out. I got this last year actually, but they have a lot of cute, very cute stuff there, and it is a faith-based boutique also, so very cool. Like, look at this. Are you kidding? It's also because I've been stressed, so I'm sure it's like stress also, which is not fun and fresh. First things first, I did the heatless curls last night, that, you know, like the robe trend that people have been doing where they take like the string from the robe and tie their hair on it. I did that last night, and honestly it kind of worked really well. Other than like up here, it was kind of where it's like, and you'll see once I take my hair all the way down, it doesn't look very curled up top, but like down here it is. It's a little too curled for my liking, but honestly for it being heatless, like pretty darn impressive. So first things first, I'm gonna start off with my eyebrows, which is what I always do. So I'm gonna use probably my brow gel today because my brows are laminated. I'm not sure how well they're gonna press down today. I shouldn't have to use a whole lot of product because they are laminated, like I said. I probably could have just used a brow gel, but it's fine. Okay, so now that they're like a little bit more volumized, whatever, I'm gonna go in with my Benefit brow pencil, which is my go-to. I've been using this for years. It's great. And just kind of add some color. They don't really need a whole lot because they are still tinted. It's kind of just to give them more of like a shape. Hi, me editing. I'm cracking up at the little wings that I have from my headband. Just ignore that. It's going to be like most of the video that it's going to be like that, and I'm looking like Shrek, so just ignore that. Okay, so now I'm going to carve out my brows. So I'm going to use my Tarte Shape Tape in light sand and just carve out the base of them, and then I'm going to use my foundation for the top. But I'm actually going to prime my eyelids with this too after I carve them, and then we'll start with eyeshadow. So my favorite brush to carve out my eyebrows is the M210 by Morphe. Their brushes are just amazing. I've had these for years. They're impeccable, great quality, and they last for years, which is amazing. And just kind of carve them out. It just will honestly make your makeup look so professional. Like, I think this is like the #1 trick to making your makeup look like you're a pro MUA, even if you're not. Now that my brows are good, I'm gonna go in with my Real Techniques brush, an Expert concealer brush. This is one of my favorite brushes. So it's a really great dense brush that can just blend out anything really easily. It's really good for blending out my concealer right in here. I'm going to prime my eyelids with the concealer, like I said. Okay, so just take a little bit here and put it on my eyelids like this. Then I'm gonna use this brush again and just kind of tap it in. We're not really trying to blend it out. We want it to be tacky because then your eyeshadow will be a lot more opaque. Because it's hard for your eyeshadow to stick to a dry base, which is why people use primer. I personally just use concealer because it's just a trick I've learned. And you don't have to like buy a whole new product. You can just use the same product. Let's grab our eyeshadow. So I grabbed a couple palettes here. I'm not sure which ones I'm going to use. So I think I want to go for like a neutral glam with green. So I want to do like some browns and like a pop of color with green. I'm not really quite sure exactly what I'm going to do with that, but that's kind of the way we're going here. So I think for that I'm going to use my James Charles palette. I know we don't like James Charles. I don't like James Charles anymore, but this is a rocking palette, okay? It's a good palette. So actually I'm gonna start with like a neutral brown just to kind of bring in some color. So I'm just gonna put some on the outer corner here and then blend it up here a little bit. Just like start adding in some color. And this blending brush is the Morphe M573, which is absolutely my favorite blending brush. So I'm actually gonna go in with a packing brush. This is the Morphe M431. I think I'm gonna use this green shade here. So I'm gonna go in with my M431 and just kind of pack this on the lid. Okay, now that I have the green on, I'm gonna just kind of deepen up the color. So I'm gonna go in with this little bit of like a darker green just to add some more dimension here. Just kind of start packing that on. Don't worry, this is when you just gotta trust the process. So I'm not gonna blend this out too much because I'm gonna use some browns, but for right now, I'm gonna start right here. Maybe I'm gonna kind of take it up in here too, just to build some dimension up here. This is how you get a really great blend, is you just kind of take the remaining product and start blending it up gently. And you can see I haven't gone into any more product. I'm literally just keeping it right in here. I'm gonna use my M573 and I'm gonna go back into the first brown that I did, the lighter brown in this palette. You can use any like light brown and just kind of start blending it up here. So I'm gonna deepen up this color. I want it to be, I want some like dark browns in here to kind of give it some rich dimension and color. So I'm gonna go in with my R39, my prized possession, favorite brush. So I'm gonna be using my Modern Renaissance palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills. You can see this palette has been through a lot. I've had it for years. So I'm gonna go into Cypress Umber, and you can see it's very pigmented, so I'm just gonna kind of tap off the excess and start in the outer corner and just kind of add some color. And I just like start to kind of take it up a little, very, very little. The key to getting a really good blend is not moving your brush a whole lot. So just kind of keeping it in my crease of my eye, doing very short motions, not big motions, kind of circling, going in a little bit, but not too far. And then you can kind of just create whatever shape you want. I tend to go for more of like a circle shape than like the out shape, but I might do that today. Maybe I will. So to create this shape, I'm just gonna start slowly bringing, you can see I didn't go into any more color. I'm just gonna slowly kind of take it out, just moving a little bit. You wanna make sure you get the same shape with both eyes. Okay, so just a little bit more, literally doing barely any. Over here, I did take some off on my hand. Back into my M573, kind of just blending up here and then the end, tail of it. So honestly, you can like stop here and then just clean up the edge, but I am gonna add a little bit more color. I'm gonna add some more dimension, so I'm gonna go in with a dark brown in the outer corner. Just kind of taking this right in here. Carefully blending the edge. You don't want to like lose the dimension with that. So I'm gonna go in with my Morphe E36 and add a little bit of black, just a tiny bit, just to kind of increase this color right out here and just start to blend that. So I'm gonna go back in with my R39 and just blend the edges. Okay, so I am gonna go in with this like olive color shimmer from the James Charles palette and just kind of put that on my lid. And then kind of take it up a little bit higher too. Okay, we're zoomed back out. So this is the only time you're going to see me use makeup wipes. I don't like using them because they're horrible for your skin, horrible for your face. I'm just going to use it to clean up my makeup. Okay, and then I just like to take my tweezers and just kind of press them together. Let's start with the base routine. So I'm going to start off with my foundation. So this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the one I use in all my videos. So I always start out here and just kind of stamp it in because you want the majority of your product on the outside of your face because it just helps avoid getting cakey makeup. And I avoid my under eye area because that's where we're going to be putting concealer and you don't want it to look cakey. So now I'm going to carve my eyebrows with the foundation that I have left over on my hand and just give them a nice clean up. Okay, so after I get my foundation on, I like to just kind of go in and blend it. Okay, so I'm going to use my contour next. So this is the same contour that I used in, I'm probably going to use this for the rest of my life, honestly. This is Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Stick in shade Fawn. So I'm going to start right here. So let's just blend out down here. I don't always put some down here, but it is kind of nice because it makes your jawline just look so nice. But you want to do like as little product as possible there because you don't want it to look like muddy. Now up here, I already have pretty high cheekbones, but I kind of like to accentuate them a little bit more, which is why I love to contour because it just makes them look so much more defined. Contour is the thing that's gonna take your makeup from like soft glam to full glam, and it's so easy to do. Like, it's not hard. I know there's a lot of people that are like scared of doing it, but you don't need to be. Just follow your natural bone structure and you'll be good to go. I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender and just kind of blend that out. And you can use your finger to blend your nose contour, but I'm gonna use a brush. So once we got our shape, I'm gonna use my beauty blender and just start blending the edges. Okay, concealer. So like I said, I like doing less is more. The more concealer you do, that's kind of just when you take it from like natural makeup to soft glam to full glam. So I am like doing more, well, this kind of is like a low-key a full glam, but I'm just gonna do kind of like a soft glam. So if I was just doing like natural makeup, I would do less concealer. Would kind of just do like a dot of concealer. Another thing to blend, so what you use to blend out your product is going to also change the look. So if you want more of like a natural look, you want to use a beauty blender. If you want it to be more pigmented, more opaque, more full coverage, you want to use a brush. So I always start out with a brush, and it just blends it out so much better. And then we're gonna work on the outside in just a second, but I'm just gonna kind of focus it right in here first. I'm gonna use my concealer brush to make sure I get this edge nice and sharp. And I typically don't like to take concealer down here because I have pretty oily skin, but I'm going to today just to kind of give it more of a like full glam look, even though it's more of like, I don't even know what I'm doing, honestly. Like, I'm gonna do a super natural look and then I end up like looking like this 2 seconds later. And then I just kind of like to blend out anything and everything with my beauty blender. So let's go ahead and set everything. So I'm just gonna start with a brush and setting everything, and then I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender and bake. But for now, I'm gonna set first. Just kind of like patting, but also doing back and forth. And then in here. Now let's do some baking. The reason I do it that way is because I like to set my under eye first, because a lot of times when you bake, sometimes you get a crease under your eye. So I like to set it first and then bake. So I'm gonna start in the inner corner and just drag it down the nose and then bring it in. This is just gonna kind of brighten up our under eye and kind of shape our contour on our nose. Here. Pretty. Pretty. My friend Lauren and I quote that all the time. Elle when she's like, when she first puts on the blonde wig and she's like, pretty. So I'm gonna go in with a blush. I'm gonna use my MAC Cosmetics blush in Sweet Enough. This is just like a really subtle pink. We don't want to go too crazy with blush today because we are wearing green, and green and red, they like cancel each other out. So we don't want anything too crazy. Just kind of add a little bit of color. And I always like to put some on the nose too. You can see I kind of just stamp on the blush. I'm not like going like this because that's kind of how when you get like sharp edges and it just doesn't look quite right. I kind of keep it out to draw my face back because it just kind of makes your face look more snatched. But if you have more of like a square shape, you don't want to do that because it'll just make it look more sharp edge, not as soft. So you want to put it on the apples of your cheeks if you have more of like a square head. And if you have more of like an oval shape or a circle shape, you want to keep it more out to kind of create more dimension to your face, so your face doesn't look so round. Next, I'm gonna use my Holy Bronzer. I'm gonna do very little of this. I don't need a whole lot, just to kind of bronze up my face a little bit. She's a little broken. I dropped her in my last video and I'm sad about it. So I'm gonna, like I said in my last video, kind of put most of it on my forehead. Okay, let's remove our powder now. Okay, so let's do our under eye just to kind of make it more cohesive. I always like to go in with kind of like the darker shade that I use and start blending that. I do have a little bit of black left over on here, but I'm gonna use kind of like the, it's like a charcoal color, dark brown right in here. And just kind of blend it with that edge right there. And I don't really like to take it all the way under. Take it about like right into here. I'm gonna go in with my R39 and just kind of blend a little bit in here. Okay, so let's set our makeup and then we'll do some mascara and lips and all that stuff. So that was my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Okay, so again, just a mascara. This is my Voluminous Lash Paradise. Let's do some highlight. So I'm gonna use my Becca Cosmetics Highlight and Champagne Pop. This is also broken. Just do a little in here, a little over here. So I'm gonna go in with my lip liner in Vintage by NYX Cosmetics. Let's use our Fenty Beauty lip in Unmatched. Honestly, this is not as red as I would like, but it's a liquid lip. It's kind of more of like a pinky red, but it's still pretty. We're done with the lip. Let's finish her off. Okay guys, this is the final look. So this was just kind of like a Christmas holiday glam that I just kind of threw together, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any suggestions or anything you want to see from me in the future, feel free to shoot me a message on Instagram. My Instagram is right here for you, or you can just comment it on here. I would love to hear your suggestions. Also, I did create a TikTok, so follow me on there. That'll be right here for you. If you like this video, feel free to like it down below and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, or Happy New Year whenever you're seeing this video, and I'll see you guys next time.